Tommy, Christian, and Coach Ring here in
Canyon Side Cages.
where?
Hitters are made.
For a
Was this a fill in the blank? Is this a Mad Lib for a baseball podcast, bro?
Mad Lib / baseball podcast, as you know. San Diego Prep Insider, here to bring you our top 10, some good players from last week, preview some games coming up this week. Dave's Dingers, Christian
Dingers has
Spinners.
become the hottest segment in San Diego. This is a power year. What the heck is going on?
I love it.
Everyone has put on their big boy pants and gone to work this year.
All right, but before we get to Dave's Dingers, we got to get to Dave's top 10. Dave, take it away.
You got it. All right, I'm going to bump Westview down to number 10. I got LCC at number 9. Grossmont still playing a hot hand at number 8. RB, number 7. Cathedral, 6. Helix, 5. Torrey Pines is going to stay in the top 3. I move San Marcos to number 2 because Eastlake has been playing some really good baseball.
Beat the snot out of Helix.
They are hot right now, so I'm got them back in my number 1. They've proved to me that they're playing the best baseball in San Diego right now.
Tom, you got our top 10?
Yeah, before I do that, I'm going to talk about some others that received some consideration, not quite in the top 10. San Ysidro, Sage Creek, Santa Fe Christian, and Francis Parker all on the door, trying to break into the number 10 spot, who is right now, Mission Hills, number 9, Grossmont, 8, La Costa Canyon, 7, Poway, 6, Cathedral Catholic, 5 is Helix, 4, Torrey Pines, 3, Rancho Bernardo, 2 is Eastlake, number 1, still San Marcos.
Basically, we just want to bait it into an epic. Eastlake versus San Marcos has to happen, right?
Yeah.
That has to be the new final?
That's a good
That's the
game
final
right now.
I mean, some fire up and down that. San Ysidro is still an interesting story. And Mission Hills,
Where'd they come
the
from?
quiet, kind of just continuous charge into the conversation. But I like that this is not a 10A, 10B, where you kind of can cap it at 11. This is a 14 to 15 team race still, maybe even as high as 16 or 17 if you're really looking at number of teams that have the opportunity to reach that 8 seed and sneak their way into open division.
Right.
Can we go to Dave's Dingers, though?
Yeah,
You've got the big bat. You talk about the big bats. Dave, I saw one last week bounce off a scoreboard.
Right.
And then
Someone bounced off a freeway.
yeah, and then then you sent the video out of a home run over the freeway. Micah Pietla-Wiggs goes yah on the first pitch of his. Some big home runs hit this week. Break it down for us.
So you're talking about Jesse Garcia for
Jesse
Grossmont.
Garcia for Grossmont bounced one off the scoreboard at Bonita, and it made me happy to see.
The guy takes a big daddy hack. Love to see that.
He's got a Mo Vaughn type thing
yeah,
going, just
right.
an all or nothing on that.
I love it. Yeah, he's got 4 right now, so he's leading the county. Another guy at Grossmont that we haven't talked about, Keone Valdez, he's got 2. I mean, think about that. 6 home runs between 2 guys. That's really keeping them in the top 10 for me. Kevin Sim and Joey McGreasy both have 4.
Kevin Sim.
And you're hitting
What up, yo?
lots of dingers over there,
Welcome to the big boy world.
right? Sophomore Luca Martinez for San Marcos, a big reason why they're in the top 3 still. He had 2 homers against Oceanside in their 9-1 victory. He's swinging an impressive bat. There's a lot of dingers right now. It is spread
You
throughout
got to
the
bring up
county.
what Waldachuk did.
Waldachuk hit one. Eric Waldachuk, UC, hit one off San Diego into the freeway, basically.
Dangerous.
Epic bat flip. His bat flip goes on. It's top 3 bat flips of the year so far.
You
Him and
basically
Kevin
say that
Sim.
he merged onto the 5 South in one pitch.
From 163.
I mean, one thing that I want to say about all those teams that you're talking about, especially Grossmont, it's not just home runs, it's quality at bats. You're talking about teams that make solid contact, and it just happens to be that a lot of these kids are strong enough that they're hitting them out. So it's really impressive to see that at the major league level, there's an epidemic right now of strikeouts and kind of arrogant at-bats of guys really not going up there with the fundamentals. And here at the high school level in San Diego, we see a lot of really high-quality at-bats being had where, like, the Grossmont Bonita game that I was at, even the outs that Grossmont was making were line drives at shortstops, were deep fly balls to left and left center. So I like seeing that if you're going to get out, don't either pop one straight up trying to rip one for the fence or strike out on an 0-2 slider that makes you look like Stanton's or something like that. It's some quality at bats. Couldn't resist, dude. Yeah. Look, I considered spray painting my sombrero platinum today just to wear it on the podcast. Tommy, you got some plays of the week?
Yeah, I got some players of the week. Freshman Trent Nielsen, not just Garrett's little brother over at Christian. He had 6 RBIs and a home run in their win over Valhalla, 10-8. So high-scoring game. The freshman making some noise with the bat. Classical Academy hit 3 home runs in their game over Steel Canyon. Their win over Steel Canyon, it was Zach Jordan, Trevor Blunt, and Dane Kelsey, each with a home run in that one. La Jolla Country Day, Carson Green went 3 for 7 with 2 home runs last week. As far as I can see on Max Preps, those were the first 3 game logs that he has. So I'm not 100% sure why he was out, but he is back with a vengeance. So good first 3 games for Carson. Next, Francis Parker's Michael Young, 4 for 9 last week, 5 RBIs and a home run. So good week for him. And then finally, Jack Dolick from St. Augustine with a complete game shutout in their 1-0 win over Granite Hills. And that's the only way they would have won, is with a complete game shutout. So there you go.
That's nice. I like seeing that.
Like throwing chairs. Jeez.
Seriously, that Saints team could be one of those sleepers that sort of, they get themselves in the playoffs and then all of a sudden they're in the finals or they're in the semis. That could be a deep run type of team. Guys, we started doing some breakdowns, look around the leagues type thing here in San Diego because we're in that beginning of league play, first week or so of it. So races are about to get really interesting because you have some teams that are way high up, but then you go, oh, well, they haven't played anyone in league. You have some teams that are a little bit back. I go, oh, wait, they're going to be fine. So you say we take a look at 3 more leagues?
Yeah.
We got a North County, we got a City, and we got a South Bay. Where do you guys want to start?
North to South?
Let's do North to South. We will start with the Avocado West.
Jeez.
Right now, Canyon Crest, Torrey Pines, Sage Creek, San Diego, LCC, Carlsbad. That's how the standings have them sitting before league play really gets broken into. So guys, let's start over here with you, Dave. Initial reaction, and then kind of just the confidence interval on it'll play out as is.
Well, first, it's not a lopsided league. I mean, you look at every team in this league, and they've got a somewhat winning record, playing strong baseball. I think the teams that are going to shine in this league, obviously Torrey is playing really good baseball. The 2 sleepers that aren't really in the top 10 currently that have been there before, LCC, they've got some really good players. Canyon Crest with the pitching over there, and they've got some clutch hitting. I mean, this is a very hard league to determine, but I think Torrey Pines is going to come out on top with the pitching of Joey McGreasy and the hitting of Big Smack Bingham.
Smack. Tom?
I kind of agree to an extent. So I'm going to say this, too. Torrey Pines, obviously the way they've been seeded and ranked by us, we expect them to win it. But LCC's been right there the whole time, too. So it's going to be kind of a 2-horse race. However, team like Sage Creek, team like Canyon Crest could easily win any game that they play in this league. So it's going to be there's no cupcakes in this league. So you got to bring your A game every single time in the Avocado West. Otherwise, someone will beat you. So yes, there's 2 teams that we probably expect to see at the top, but they can't, just roll out the baseball and win a game. They're going to have to actually, put 100% effort into all these games, otherwise they're going to lose them.
I'll say my confidence interval that this league ends as is at 0% right now. Because even all the way, the telling stat for me that if you're looking at it is all of these teams are within 10 runs allowed of one another. Mm-hmm. There is almost 100, there's about 60 run differences between the least productive offense and the most productive offense, but all the pitching staffs are basically, statistically speaking, even. Now, granted, that is not saying that all pitchers are made even and not everybody throws the same on any given day, strength of schedule. I understand that all plays into it, but what I'm looking at right now is that if Carlsbad snipes LCC 1-0, that's within their grasp. If San Diego beats Torrey, if Sage Creek beats LCC, this to me is the most dynamic and fluctuating race in the entire county. Because right now, it would not surprise me if we're looking at Sage Creek and LCC duking out the last week of the season for this league title, just because everybody else beat everybody else. So I think you got the most friendly fire to look out for in this one. Our next race that we can talk about, we'll head down the league a little bit, or down the 5 a little bit, but we'll stay out on the coast for the Coastal League. Francis Parker currently in first, SFC, the Bishop School, La Jolla Country Day, Guajome Park, and then Horizon Christian. Guys, we've talked a lot about Parker and SFC being on that conversation. La Jolla Country Day and Bishops were early seasons that we were talking about maybe not sleeping on. We'll start with you, Tommy. Just give me your knee-jerk reaction to what you see right now in this league.
Well, knee-jerk reaction, we've had 2 teams that have been kind of cracked top 10 or been on the cusp of being Santa Fe Christian and Francis Parker, but this is not in any way, shape, or form a two-team race. Country Day right now with losing record, but they could easily beat anyone in this league. Bishop's in kind of a similar situation. I think it will come down to those three, though. I think it'll be Parker, Santa Fe Christian, and Country Day when it's all said and done, because they're the ones with the horses.
Country Day's lacking a little bit of pitching this year, but they still got Carson Green, Trevor Ace. I mean, those guys are raking the ball right now. So, like you said, I mean, Parker's got the pitching, and they've got some experience at the plate. And it's all going to come down to who manufactures runs. I know that a lot of these teams at the top are going to pitch. Like Parker's got Joseph Satali and guys that can go, 6-7 innings for them. It's all going to come down to who puts the ball in play, manufactures runs. Because like you said, for the last group, I mean, some of these teams aren't manufacturing runs that well. Like Santa Fe only has 59 runs and Bishop's not scoring that many runs. So if that becomes a trend, you can start to see the Francis Parkers lose a game and the Santa Fe's lose a game. But until then, I'm going to take Parker to win the league.
I'm going to probably echo that sentiment. I think that for me, the big takeaway is the fact that Parker has just a little bit of power to go with their pitching.
Yep.
And that's where you just maybe, like you said, in a lower scoring league, you lean a little bit more toward that. What do you say we finish it out with the Metro South Bay, Sweetwater, Olympian, Castle Park, Mar Vista, Mater Dei Catholic, Southwest San Diego. Guys, this one is very, very interesting to me because right now, I'd say Mar Vista, Southwest San Diego are two of the teams that I would look at people viewing as quote-unquote sleeper teams for the playoffs. They have, Mar Vista at 14-4, Southwest SD at 10-8, but Southwest San Diego with 127 runs already scored. They've got this one maybe classify as the entire league is going to produce one big sleeper, one small sleeper. What do you kind of pick through with all this?
My favorite teams are Castle Park and Mar Vista. I mean, you can see obviously they're the ones scoring the most runs. Southwest SD's got a lot of runs too, but that's what they're going to have to do down there. If they're not pitching as well as I think these guys are, Olympians giving up 100 runs, Sweetwater's given up 75 runs so far. So, I like Castle Park, and Media Luna over there is leading the charge. Mar Vista is definitely probably going to sneak a few out here and there, but like I said, you watch Castle Park, they got a bunch of guys that hit doubles and triples and a lot of big game players. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Mar Vista, team that has really surprised me so far early in the season. I was wondering how long this would last. 14-4, they're for real, I would say. So a team that maybe going into the season no one would pick to win this league, but right now they seem to be the favorites.
Yeah, to me, just kind of the takeaway is rise to the occasion. It seems like these are maybe some teams that take some really tough L's with teams that are a division or two ahead of them, and that they just have to, be like, oh, hey, Sweetwater will play in the Lions tournament and take some tough losses. And Olympian, there are just some teams that, okay, they lack the quote-unquote D1 marquee talent, but when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of it, they're still a really good baseball team. And that's where we've seen Mar Vista with the power to leave the yard. I like them. But I got to say, Southwest San Diego, with 127 runs scored, I don't care who you're scoring them on, unless you're getting literally somebody just pegging batters and walking in runs. That means you're putting the ball in play.
Yeah.
So I will say that whoever wins this league gets my official certified playoff sleeper of the year type stamp, because one of those two teams is going to have to duke it out, and I think we'll see some very interesting offensive sparks coming out of that one. Speaking of potential offensive sparks, guys, what do you say we go into our game picks for the week? We're looking at games entirely on the docket for this coming Friday the 13th. Is it going to be a high-scoring slasher film with a body count, or will it be a Jeepers Creepers spooky absence of life on the bats?
I was married on Friday the 13th, so
dude,
I'm still around.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, by the way. Okay. First game I think that we should talk about, because they are now in the top 10, is Mission Hills. They will be playing host to Rancho Buena Vista.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing. Mission Hills, again, kind of a team that came out of nowhere. RBV probably not, up to their level. So this, now that they're getting some recognition, is it going to get to their head? Are they going to, maybe not come out to play, or are they going to show what they're made of. So I think this will be a big game for them just to kind of prove that they really are who they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a home game for Mission Hills. They've got a lot of seniors. Trevor Davis, Jonathan Clark. These guys are really rolling a little bit. It's going to be a tough game going in there playing against Mission Hills at home right now.
Another game I want to talk about, Point Loma at Patrick Henry. Guys, both of these teams in desperate need for a signature win to kind of get that momentum going down the stretch. You want to take one each side? How do you want to do? What do you see out of this one?
Patrick Henry lost their first league game to Mira Mesa. They're not scoring a ton of runs. Point Loma, on the other hand, big sticks, Hunter Ochin, Tanner Schinkel. These guys are starting to get hot at the plate. I mean, with the pitching that they have over there, I like Point Loma, you know? Yeah,
Point Loma's kind of been a who's going to show up team again. they've had some great wins, they've had some bad losses. So it's, again, I hate saying it like this. If they show up, they shouldn't have a problem. But if they don't, they're not going to win the game. 2
more games to get to, and these are all for Friday the 13th, this coming Friday. Guys, let's talk La Jolla at Mira Mesa. Dave?
Mira Mesa's got 4 in a row right now. So they're riding a hot streak. La Jolla has also won some good games this year. They've impressed me. I didn't think La Jolla was going to be as solid in general as they have been this year, but I think I'm going to take the hot hand. Mira Mesa's going to go and take their 5th win in a row.
Yeah, I'll go the other way. La Jolla's a program that always seems to have good teams and just kind of be consistent, so I like the Vikings.
Final game I want to talk about for Friday, this coming Friday the 13th. Saints, we just saw Jack Dolak blank a team. On the other hand, Christian and Brad Jeremiah. That offense is starting to move a little bit. So we got Saints at Christian this Friday. Offensive or defensive pitching game?
I mean, it's late in the week, so you got to expect it's probably not going to be the top starter for each team. Again, you can't really project that, but that's what I would guess. That does not bode as well for Christian as it does for Saints. I think Saints is a deeper pitching staff. Christian, they can swing the bats, though. So I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think Saints will take this one.
I think it's going to be interesting. If Christian gets a lead, they've got a freshman by the name of Braden Ross to come in and close it out. He's done that a few times this year. And Christian has a chance and the ability to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to take Christian just because I think that they're swinging some good bats. And if they get a small lead here, like I said, Ross is going to close it out for them.
It certainly is interesting to see that you do in the season with some clashing of philosophies. Oh, this team has gotten by for pitching all these season long. Can they make it through 3 or 4 league games where you have hitting, pitching, however it goes? Speaking of hitting and pitching, we are looking to crown 2 things, the King of Dave's Dingers and the King of K's in San Diego this season. So send us your home runs, your bat flips, your strikeouts, your chair throwing, whatever it is you want to send us. You also have one thing you want to close
I want to squeeze in my game balls. Like I said, Mira Mesa's on a roll. Aaron Lester pitched a 1-hit game for these guys against Patrick Henry. 3rd win of the season for him. Like I said, 4th win in a row for those guys. So props to you guys. And a couple guys from Poway I wanted to give love to real quick. Darren Johnson, he's got 16 RBIs. And Dayton Dooney, he's got some video game statistics right now. He's got a .621 on-base percentage.
That's insane.
And not just with like getting plunked and walks. He's got 28 hits. And you mentioned Mission Hills. My game ball goes to Mission Hills for their 13-4 record.
Top 10, Grizz.
And can I add something about Dooney? Every time when we're looking up, before we do this, who's going to be our game balls of the week? I almost give it to him every single week, and I realized, wait, I already did that kid last week. He's having an unbelievable season.
So a standing reservation in the game for Dayton Dooney this season. Like I was saying, send us your home runs, your dingers, your strikeouts, anything you want to send us at SD Prep Insider for the show. I'm Mr. CPED.
At Real Tommy Morris.
At David Ring 4.
We will see you next week, folks.